just go in there and play with the tongue, do whatever. Just get used to my anatomy.
Can you swallow?
I'm going to do that once you get, then I'm going to talk you through.
When you work on her, is it like a counter this way or more?
All.
Okay.
So, now so just to take you through, so if you're swallowing, then you want the rotation to go, so I'm going to over-exaggerate. I'm going to go. So feel how my tongue wants to go. So just imagine my tongue, the bolus, or the back end of the tongue, arches now, and it hits my palate about here. Right? And then as I go to swallow, just like a wave crest. So, and it will clear, but it creates a vacuum. And that's why it's so hard, like if kids have a cleft palate, all those kind of things that opens up and they don't get any of that vacuum or that play. Again, that's a rare case, but so to initiate that, you want to actually go here, drop. You don't necessarily want to go, because for me to do a tongue thrust with my tongue against when do you do that? Not even talking. So that would be like this. I mean, that's not a normal tongue movement.
So more.
So the swallow, did you feel it? Now some kids will have more of that kind of thing.
That's a swallow?
No.
No.
But that's where they get stuck. They hit the back of the palate. Do you hear it? So you'll get more of a click down here. So you'll feel the more of that kind of. Right? Versus just me saying hello. Do you feel the amount of movement in my jaw? Versus just.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that she's trying to do this. So she's trying to do with her tongue what she's not getting with the jaw. So what I started to do today, and she was ready for it, is when she's going to talk, so she's actually was pushing me down with the jaw. And that's where she got all her strength from. So if I were to go to sit up, I'm going to go this way, right? If I'm just like this, right? Versus if I have that function here through that hinge to go. Versus again. See how the rotation comes from a different place.
Yeah.
So she goes here.
Yeah.
Right? Versus if I have this, see
Yeah.
all of that and the chin. So huge for her. So the fact that she felt this, right? So first what she did was this. So clamp down a little bit. She did this a bit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's actually controlling a contraction and a release.
Mm-hmm.
Some people see that topically to see it. They're seeing,
Yeah. That's what I thought it was more.
but it wasn't. She's doing more the feel the spring loading.
Yeah.
And then she got it through her tush. She just doesn't know how to push through from the toes
Yeah.
out. So I was just there holding them so they were in place.
Mm-hmm.
Everything she was doing, man, that was all her.
Wow.
So put your hands on the top of my head, right? So what she can't do is plant the feet.
She was doing that?
She was doing this,
Yeah.
right? But because she's not used to the foot, then the levers and the pulleys versus and the direct line, she would have done this,
Yeah.
right? So I was just there holding her feet in a certain way. All of that was her. And the fact that you were also giving her resistance was huge, right? Because it was giving her feedback. And then when she wanted to push you harder, you know what I mean? She was really trying to direct. So I would move her foot out here, right? See, that's even different for me. Then I would do both feet here, right? And then both feet here. But here, feel the difference? So that's all I was doing.
Okay.
And then I'd go a little bit this way, you know, one leg long, one leg.
Or were you doing it, was she pushing more the whole foot, the heels?
She was right here. She was doing the best work. Toes, I think she would have kicked the heel back a little bit.
I see. And so the next time we would work on different places of the foot? Like, because you want to push off more from...
Right, well, that's what I was then doing on the table.
Mm.
So she was feeling it that way, and she could also see her feet. I thought that would help her.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she was like no, your feet have to go, and then she was, so she would bring her feet back,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So playing with that,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
Yeah.
So now with the eye again, so you're gonna just clamp my nose, however you wanna do it. So if I'm, right, so here when you do it, do that and just press it a little bit. So see, she could feel her palate much more when you do something like that. Right, so here if you take your nose, hands off my nose, see? You know, it gives more of a different pressure, more of a different vibration off the palate. Obviously, I'm not gonna, but you see a lot of people that have to sneeze and they hold their nose and they'll sneeze,
Mhm.
right? So, or put the tissue there, but that's to feel that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But in her case, right, for her to do this and put your hands on me, that's where I'm like, to Amanda, I didn't mean to but feels like this. For her to say mom right now, right, she has to be able to either close, mom, mom. So the brunt of the opening is much more from here, so mom, right? Because it's hinging back here
Mm-hmm.
to drop the front of the jaw to say mom,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whereas dad, see the difference? Much more here and the cheeks expand.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, mom, mom. See how the jaw has to slide forward to do mom?
Mm-hmm.
So here to even say, so now she doesn't have that, so to get, you know, dad, and this, dad, that's going to be the biggest bang for her buck. Because here it's like, all she has to do is make that connection of the tongue to the upper mouth. And that, but that's also tree, any of the lolly. But pop is a hard one. You see? So if I do an S, so S, now that's the bending of the tongue, like a swallow. S, F. All she has to do is get the upper teeth down to get an F. So let's go through the alphabet. So A.
There's so much vibration with A.
Right, but I don't get any poof, right? But B.
Oh.
B. So even back here to go B, you know? B is a pronating one. C is also hard because now you have to go up in the nasals. C. You feel that? And the tongue loops. C.
Wait, you mean loops how?
Curls or whatever. C. So that again is a harder. I just want you to understand the movement and the mechanics, right? So D. D is a tip of the tongue. D, but it's much more nasal, right? Than a T. See, I can do that with air. D is more of a, so this voice goes here and here. E. But again, that's a curled tongue. E. F is, again, you just have to get the top teeth. F. Fence flies, you know? G's a hard one. G. Because you have to lift your lips. G. Right? G. That would be a hard one to understand with just air. Giraffe. You know. I'm just, again, you know, don't pick words that are, because once she knows talking, she's smart, she'll get it. But she needs to at least get, like, oh, I said something, so I get it. So she's doing that with the iPad, which is great. H. H is a hard one. The tongue rotates. H. So the tongue actually goes down and up. H. I. Real easy. Ice cream. Ice. Ice would be easy. Then the cream is hard. And there aren't really cool I words except for ice cream. J. J is a hard one because again, you gotta, like G, you gotta lift your lips. K. Real easy. L. Now again, M. So N. So the tongue goes up, but then it has to solidify it, you know, so it's not like a T. So T and O. O is easy. O. You just got to get the roundness of the lips. P. P's a little bit harder. Not as hard as a G, but again, and not as hard as a B. A B, B versus P. R is more like just a dropping of the jaw. So R. S. Easy. S. T. U. U is like O. The lips are going to do it. V, but there's no words with V in them. V. V is again like an F. The teeth. W, forget. because it's like 3 words. W versus like just a noun, or I mean like just an enunciation. Same thing, X. But again, it's an easy sound, but there's so few words with it. And Y is easy, and again, Y, where you can just drop the jaw, and Z. Does that help?
It helps a lot.
So, now, some people chew different. We'll just go over those. So, again, most of the kids that are special needs, jaw only goes up and down. So just feel chewing. Very little molar work. Even for me to clench my teeth. That's when people go. Right? But, so you can get the front teeth to bite usually with that. But the molar work is not there. Because the molar work is more the chew, but it's almost like a rotation. So, not to feel like a cow, but. So if I was just chewing with my right side, left, back, like if the teeth don't line up, that's harder. If stuff's going out, especially if the tongue goes out, I had this. Very little jaw work. The tongue is, but it's not a chew. So, Santino, he's better with this than he is with this.
Oh, I see.
So if I'm swiping my gums from behind here, see how the tongue has to come up and over? So this, for it to clear the top on the outside of the teeth. Tops are harder. And the outside is hard too. So watch your fingers, I'm coming around. So if I'm swiping my top outside lips, now do you feel the counter with that? And I think the down is harder. So, and now if I add eyes to that, watch this. So I'm gonna go lazy eye out. Right eye's out. So right eye out. I'll just do the vowels. So see how it's back in the throat? For me to keep an eye out, I almost like slur my speech. Sorry, my breath is bad. Cross-eyed. It's almost hard for me to cross midline. God, that's weird. God, cross your eyes and try and swipe your lips.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
It gets stuck.
It gets stuck. It's like my eyes are already there, but my tongue can't do the same thing.
It's like rubbing your belly. And
I'll just show that to Diane. So again, crossing my eyes, A, B, C, D, E. So it's much more nasally. I can't do nystagmus, so forget that. So one eye in, A, B, C, D, E. So it sounds like it's more here. Which is interesting how, again, eye contraction affects.
Yeah.
So now, again, if I was started doing this, then see how my jaw starts to counter. So that's where you'll see this kind of thing, eye here, or those kind of, and it's very hard then, in this case, to get my tongue all the way over here, because so this is much easier to talk than going, you know what I mean? Because it's the pull of the muscles.
That's right.
Does that help?
Yeah.
The Newborn Movement Assessment Guide is available at Amazon.com and at the newbornmovementassessment.com website.
By joining this exciting community, you will learn how to help infants from the moment that they enter the world and change the lives of countless children and families. Out of necessity to help her globally delayed child, Michelle Turner, Movement Integration Specialist, created Movement Lesson to benefit children throughout the world.